Hello lovelies, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if this is your first time of stopping by. Hi, nice meeting you for the first time. Please consider subscribing to my channel. To my old subscribers, I say thank you very much for all your support. So in today's video, we're making this style for our princesses. If it's something you're interested in, please watch to the end, and I will see you at the end of the video. So for this style, I'll be folding my fabric into four because I'm cutting the front and the back bodies together, and I decided to mark out the design and the at the edge of the fabric before marking. So for my measurement is starting from 5 inches because it's an off shoulder gown. I'm going to mark half of my shoulder measurement downward for my armhole depth, and then mark my half length measurement. That's the measurement I just marked. So I'm marking the line across towards it, and I also added 2 inches allowance for the joining and for the folding. 1 inch, I'm supposed to add 1 inch, so I'm cutting out 1 inch afterward. So for my neckline, I marked at 4 inches, and then I'm going to go ahead and mark half of my shoulder measurement so that I can be able to continue with the measurement. So I'm going to be marking my bust measurement from there. I'm divided by 4. Then I'm going to go ahead and add my allowance, and I did the same thing for my waistline. My waistline divided by 4, and then my allowance as well. All measurement is going to be in this description box as usual. Please check it out. Then I'm going to slant from my neckline to meet my my armhole line. Then the next thing that I did is to raise up my bust line, my chest line upward by ½ inch, because I do not want it to go lower than 5 inches. That's why I raised it up by 5 inches, so I can use ½ inch to join it or to turn it inside out. Please, if you haven't subscribed to my channel up to this moment, please hit on the subscribe button. Join the growing family. To my old subscribers, you guys know I appreciate all your love and support, and I say thank you very much. So this is it after cutting it out. The next thing I'm going to do is to cut out my measurement for my gathers, and I just measured my waistline, added 2 inches allowance because of the zipper. Then that's what I did, and I marked out I tripled the measurement to cut it out. Then for the shoulders, the stripe that is going to serve as the sleeve. Remember we deducted 5 inches, so I'm going to be adding half inches to join it to my fabric. So I'm cutting out at 11 inches. Then I'm going to make it 2, and then for the width I have about 4 inches there. I'm going to fold it and then stitch at one side to turn it inside out. And from the flower at the sleeve, and this is what I cut out for it, and I have 4 pieces for each sleeve. For the length of it, I have about 7 inches by 7 inches, or 6.5 by 6.5. I can't really remember at the time making this voiceover, but you can measure yours and know whatever and do what works for you. And for the bigger one, I have about 8 inches or so on both sides. So what I'm going to do is to fold this to form a half circle, and I'm going to go ahead and stitch it all around, leaving a little opening for me to be able to turn it to the right side. And then when I'm done, I'm going to stitch to close up that place that I left open. And this is it after I was done with all. Remember, I have 4 on each sleeve. There's 4 of the small one and then 4 of the big one on each sleeve. And this is it after I was done. I went ahead to iron it down as well, and this is the one that will serve as the sleeve. So moving on to the bodice, I'm going to go ahead and place this strap into the bodice on the 2 sides of it, and then I cut out my fabric into 2. I'm going to be using one to serve as the lining. If you have your normal lining, please go ahead and make use of it. So I'm going to close it up with my lining and then stitch all the way from one side to the other. You can use your pin to hold this down before stitching, which I did, by the way. So this is the back bodice, and I also cut it into two. I duplicated it, so you can go ahead and do the same thing for yours. And also, when you are done with the stitching of the front part, you're going to place the sleeve the same way you placed it at the back one to stitch it down. And then for the flower, we are going to go ahead and gather this with our hand needle, just like I am doing. Just go ahead and do the same thing, and the stitching is a white stitch, so I'm going to go ahead stitch it down, then I drag the thread to form that gather, cut out the excess, and then I'm going to go ahead and make a knot just to secure the stitches. Then I did the same thing for all the half circle that we have to get the flower like piece. So to continue with our bodice, this is it after I was done with the attachment of the stripe for our that will serve as our sleeve. And the next thing I'm going to do is to stitch the two sides with my measurements. And this is the fabric I'm going to be using, the piece I'm going to be using for my gather. Remember, we cut out our waistline into three. We're going to go first of all hem this, and then run a loose stitch on this side to gather it. If you don't know how to gather your fabric, I have a detailed video on how to do that in my channel. Please check it out. And this is it after we are done with the gathering. And to gather this, all you have to do is to deduct your half length from the total measurement, then mark out the remaining plus 2 inches allowance for joining. So I'm going to go ahead and place this fabric my bodice front, facing the front of the gather, and stitch it from one side to the other. So moving on to our flower, I am done with this one. I use my hand stitches to do this, and I will tell you, if you have your gum, I think you should use it. It's easier. So I use my hand stitches, my hand needle, to join the whole piece together. Then I'm using my hot glue to gum it together. You can use your hand stitches to join it together as well if you want, but I wanted to show you guys how I use my hand stitches to do it, but it's a lot of work I'm not willing to do again. So I'm just going to use my hot glue, but just the same way I'm using this hot glue to gum it together, that's the same way you're going to use your hand needle to do it. Just keep putting it together and then stitching it down. And when you are done with the small semicircle, you are going to go ahead and do the bigger one, the same pattern. And when I was done with it as well, I'm going to apply my hot glue and then stick it together. So this is the two. When I was done with it, we're going to go ahead and work on the remaining bodies before attaching it to our body. I'm going to go ahead and then close up the zipper area and then attach my zip. And this is it after I was done with attaching my zipper. The next thing we are going to do is to attach the flower at the shoulder line, at the sleeve area. And that's all for this style, I believe. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed to my channel. Share my videos to family and friends. Please do not leave today without subscribing and without giving me a thumbs up. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.